What's up, YouTube? MKohl40 here. I wanted to give you guys kind of like a little state of the meta video, both offline and online. So kind of pay attention to some of the stuff in this video because it should be important to you as a player in the current state of the game. Online, or actually I'll go offline first. It seems a little bit more logical. The offline world has been nothing but dragons. The WCQ for North America is coming to in about 2 weeks, week and a half, something like that. It depends, but dragon rulers are going to be the dominant force there. A lot of players are currently mad at the meta just because of dragon rulers. There are plenty of counters to dragon rulers: Vanity's Emptiness, Iron Imperial Wall, Goes and Match, Max C, Trigoedia, Effect Failure, Draw and Lockbird. There are plenty of counters. I don't understand why everyone's complaining about the deck. Yes, the deck is very powerful. The deck hardly is unstoppable, in my personal opinion. There are a lot of players that were maining Iron Imperial Wall, stuff like Goes and Match as well, to stop them. Yes, the deck does do a lot of redundancy and a lot of craptastic stuff in the form of like +4s and 5s. But you know, once again, depending on what you open, the dragon deck is not unstoppable. I believe Prophecies are also the second dominant deck right now. A lot of the competitive players that have been talking through the network, they've been talking about playing Prophecies, Triple Star Hall, make that Magician massive. That's one reason why Prophecies are such a dominant force right now in the offline world. Just because, like, you know, Star Hall, you know, Judgment Day. The only reason Star Hall becomes viable is Judgment Day itself, but Star Hall should be a candidate to get destroyed on the ban list just because of what it can do to Kaiku and things like that. So far, the Dragon deck and Prophecies are the two big decks. Evil Swarm's taken a back seat. Really, really sucks because I really like Evil Swarm, but Evil Swarm, as much as players don't want to, you know, admit it and they'll cry about it, Evil Swarms are the budget deck this format. Ophions have dropped in price. I believe you can get Ophions for like $12 max right now. If you check on eBay, stuff like that. Definitely should look into that. The deck is really cheap in budget. The deck has a lot of cool tricks. It can Eradicator, Prophecy. You can safe zone it against Blaster Kun, the Elemental Dragon Kawaii, protect itself, stuff like that. But, you know, to those of you guys that are complaining about, I don't want to build Evil Swarm, sucks to be you. It's the only budget deck that you can physically play this format without totally getting destroyed. Redox Gadgets. I'm going to do some changes to it eventually. I'm not quite sure what I've got in mind. I've got a few choices that I'm considering, like Wall main, Kaiku main, stuff like that. You have to play terrible tech choices this format in order to, you know, survive. And, you know, with Dragon's pace ability, you know, auto Shockmaster turn 1 is viable, but I never draw Goldfish, Kage, Tokage gadget together. It just doesn't happen. Like, even though I only play 6 gadgets, that's not the problem. It's Kage, Tokage, and Goldfish. They never show up simultaneously for me. So, you know, nonetheless, the deck did kind of crap out on me against Evil Swarm. The deck has a really terrible Evil Swarm matchup. It shouldn't have that, and I need to adjust that going into the WCQ season. Prophecies is a dice roll, which is very unfortunate to say. You know, Draw and Lockbird in most cases will win me the game against Prophecy, unless it's a very skillful player that knows how to play against Draw and Lockbird. That's the thing. Skill level does play a very important role in this game. A bad dragon player you can win against super easy with one simple misplay on their part. You play against a very skillful dragon player, you're going to have a bad time. I played Billy Break 3 times at Origins. He was playing dragon rulers. Just testing. Me and him sat down and tested for a little bit. I got 3-0'd playing Redox Gadgets. So there is some gap there to be seen for improvement for both my deck and for dragon rulers in general. But that's not the case. But, you know, once again, Dragon Rulers are probably the most dominant deck right now in the TCG for June and July. The Number Hunter set will probably change that for the rest of the meta. There is nothing competitive the rest of the meta except for Gen Con. Gen Con is just a bunch of side events anyway, so I'll do some deck profiles to kind of, you know, give people a little bit of taste, and then it's banless season, and then we're into September. So there's the rest of the current format. But right now it's Dragon Ruler's Prophecy, Evil Swarm, not so much. but hey, my computer decided to update. But yeah, so nonetheless, Dragon Ruler's Prophecy and Evil Storm for the offline world. The online world has actually been a little bit different. You'll still see Dragon Ruler's Prophecy depending on how you want to play competitively. Right now there's a major hype for vampires. I called them crap. They are crap. Let me explain to you guys again, once again, while vampires are crap. It's not just because of the representative decks that I've played against. I've played against far more vampire decks than you guys think you've seen. The replays just wouldn't save because of DevPro's update system. Every time they update, the replay becomes unviable, which really stinks. But vampires in a format with Burning Knucklers, Fire Fist, Rabbit, this is assuming that Dragon Rulers, Evil Storm, and whatnot get put down. Constellars will still exist. The reason why they cannot function is because their main engine relies on the Sorcerer. Sorcerer is just 3 cards and a 40-card deck, depending on the other engine that you put with the vampires. Yes, you know, you have the Vampire Knight or whatever he is. You tribute him, special summon a guy, or when he's normal summoned, special summon a guy. I know that card is good, it generates a +1, but you guys have to look at it. Worms have one of the best +5s in the game. Guess where they're at? They're on the lower end of the tier 2 spectrum, just because even though they have an amazing card, does not mean that they're going to be good. Depending on the player, yes, the deck could be good to a certain select few. That does not mean that the representative base of the deck will be good just because one player can make it good. Just because I can make Redux gadgets work does not mean that the deck is good. Just because one representative player can change the meta for one deck does not mean that. But once again, looking at the statistics based around the deck, right now, Vampire Sorcerer is hyped up. Vampire Lord's a $15 to $20 card for no reason, even though he's not even the best card in the deck. And, you know, players will get over the hype of the deck eventually. Trust me, guys, I've tested it. I understand it. It's got a few cool tricks, but, you know, against Constellar's bounce ability, Lagia, Dolka, I'm just going to have a bad time, you know. And that's assuming Dragon Rulers and Prophecies don't even exist anymore. Same thing with Evil Storm. Those 3 decks will still eat that deck alive. And to those of you that are like, yeah, I beat Dragon Rulers and I beat Prophecy with the deck, that's cool. You probably beat a very inexperienced player. And it's so sad to tell you that, but, you know, to play against an extremely good player, you will get a sense of accomplishment, whether or not the player was good or not, just because of that. Anyway, Burning Knucklers are also the second-based deck right now because of the new spell card, Special Summon with the Graveyard. This little knowledge was composed between me and my friend because he plays a little bit more DevPro than I do, and he kind of gave me a lowdown on what he's played. Same thing with myself. So when I'm playing, so it's mainly vampires, Burning Knucklers because of their new spell card. Prophecies with the Blue Eyes structure deck is still really popular right now. Anything really Blue Eyes oriented, people are testing for the September format, even though we don't know what the meta is right now. But the Blue Eyes structure deck is kind of cool. The Kisara wannabe monster. The Blue Eyes main looks like Kisara. Kisara's the one turns into Blue Eyes in the original Doma anime, I believe it was. But yeah, so Prophecies are really big with the Blue Eyes support right now. Which is really interesting to say the least. And Burning Knucklers, Burning Knuckler players, as my friend quotes, they just get worse and worse every day. It's so sad to say that because he's always playing Burning Knucklers. All those Knuckler mirrors, guys, shouldn't be that hard to do. You just go big eye. Oh wait, you guys can't do that. And then, you know, once again, back to vampires. Vampires are on the hype train right now. Those of you that are simply going to dislike this video because you think vampires are the best deck in the world and that I'm wrong, you should definitely reevaluate your stance on this game and, you know, test a little bit more competitively. And, you know, there's a difference between the casual player and the competitive player by a long shot. I'm semi-competitive. So shameful to say that. Even though I do love the competitive aspect of this game, I do prefer to play more casual decks like Worms, Fish OTK, that ancient deck that shouldn't exist anymore, Lemuria Control for frogs, a lot of stuff like that. So a lot of decks I've also wanted to play this format that I haven't had the chance to build, which sucks because the list is coming soon and I'm not going to get the chance to do that. So this is my little wrap up on the meta. You still have the big dominant three on the online world, but you're seeing a lot more Burning Knucklers, Prophecy with the Blue Eyes stuff, Blue Eyes decks in general without Prophecy, and Burning Knucklers, them vampire decks, guys. So, not to insult anybody, but guys, before you start calling the kettle black, definitely consider my standpoint on some of the card choices. I've seen every terrible format this game has ever had, and usually when I'm saying something, there's a logical reason behind it. You should draw in between the lines to see where the connection is being drawn. So decided to have a pen for today's video just because all the more awesome. So that's my conclusion on the current meta state of the game. The game is not happy by any stretch of the imagination. Players are not happy with Dragon Rulers. Really sucks to see that, seeing unhappy players, but there's a very good budget deck right now. Players are just choosing not to play it because for whatever reason players are like, oh my god, $10 for Ophion is too expensive. Then you shouldn't be playing competitive if you think $2 is too much. So it's the unfortunate side of things. Yeah, Kirkion, I believe, dropped 15. You might even be able to get Kirkions for 10s if you try super hard. You just got to do some work. It's not that hard to get what you guys want, as long as you guys are willing to, go up something in exchange. Equivalent exchange, all makes sense. Damn you, Full Metal Alchemist. So, I don't know. That's my take on the meta. Players shouldn't be complaining about, wanting a budget deck when Evil Storm is basically our budget right now. You can also play Constellars. Constellars are the fourth piece of the triad. I haven't seen a really good Constellar player yet. It's very unfortunate to see that. I believe Prophecies are finally starting to get their good players to rise up, and it only took, 2 months to actually see a good Prophecy player start to come out of the, mold. Alright, well, I've rambled on enough about the current state of the meta. Like this video, guys, if you want to see more state of the meta videos. You do have to understand hype drives this game, hence vampires, hence Burning Knucklers, hence the Blue Eyes stuff, the current trends in the game. As you know, the OCG releases more stuff. You'll see more and more decks online. So tell me, guys, what do you guys think of the state of the meta? There's going to be a whole bunch of QQ Dragon Ruler posts. I'm quitting the game because I hate Dragon Rulers. Yeah, you'll be back in September when things are better for 2 months. And then just get worse. So I'm looking forward to Archfiends. I don't even know what happened to them. They kind of just disappeared. So, alright guys, tell me what you think about the meta. Like this video if you guys want to see another meta report as the months go on. I actually kind of want to keep this segment. Kind of lets me, be a competitive player and maintain the mindset. But yeah, guys, tell me what you think. I'm out for now.